okay, sports anime can be a bit of an acquired taste. I get it. Some love it, others hate it, and that's okay. A lot of people don't even watch sports in real life, not to mention in an anime. I happen to think they make a pretty good match, and I've said as much here on the channel. However, I have to say, some sports just don't lend themselves to the anime format. Soccer, I can understand. Volleyball, I can get behind. Basketball, sure, why not? But ping pong? Who the hell would watch an anime about ping pong? Turns out the answer is me, and I loved every second of it. What's up, anime fans and manga readers? Ping Pong the Animation was originally published as a manga written and illustrated by Taiyo Matsumoto way back in 1996, and if you haven't already guessed from the title, it's about ping pong, or as it's better known in some parts of the world, table tennis. Now, this is no shade whatsoever to fans and players of the sport. I'm absolutely amazed whenever I see it played at a high enough skill level, and it can be as intense as any other sport. Now, with that being said, you have to be honest. High school table tennis is not exactly what comes to mind when you try to think of an exciting setup for an anime. I mean, it sounds like a good time for a couple of episodes, but there's just no way to make it interesting enough to carry an entire season of a show, right? Wrong! Ping Pong tells the story of high schoolers Peko and Smile who have been inseparable friends since childhood, united by their love for table tennis despite their starkly different personalities. Smile, despite his cheery name, has a cold and subdued demeanor, while Peko is an absolute jester, the kind of friend that knows everybody across town and perhaps a few people in the next town over. He's loud and boastful, and particularly proud of the fact that he never loses against his friend Smile. Despite being freshmen, both boys are the star players at the Katase High School Table Tennis Club. But in the springtime of their youths, their paths suddenly begin to diverge. As is the case in almost every sports anime, the show is set against the ticking clock of a national high school tournament where our lead characters have to face off against some of the most skilled opponents across the country, all vying for the ultimate prize, at least on paper. You see, the story of Ping Pong isn't just about characters striving for gold or wanting to be the best. For every character, the ultimate prize represents something different. For Wen Gokong, a Chinese player exiled after a brutal loss, winning here means getting to go back home. For Ryu Kazuma, victory is the only option in order to uphold the legacy of his school and the company of his sponsors. For Manabu Sakuma, winning is only as important as defeating Peko, whom he has perceived as a rival since childhood. For Smile, though, he doesn't even want to win. He lacks drive, and his deep bond for Peko keeps him from unleashing his full potential, even though his talent is undeniable. However, he soon meets Coach Joe, a genius past his prime who sees greatness in Smile and pushes him mentally and physically to confront his barriers and embrace his abilities. Peko, on the other hand, struggles with his confidence and his talent after a brutal defeat causes him to reevaluate his perception of himself as a table tennis player, and when he learns that Smile has been holding back against him, he eventually abandons the sport he once loved. He tries to relearn everything from scratch, and for him, victory is the chance to face off against his oldest friend on equal footing. Whew! That's a lot of stakes for high school Pong, I'll tell you that, but the series manages to blend the intensity of competition with the heartfelt exploration of friendship, self-discovery, and the highs and lows of chasing greatness. It's a compelling story about finding your place in the world, both on and off the table. It's amazing how much Ping Pong is able to cram into its runtime of just 11 episodes. The backstories and flashbacks and training montages and the tournament itself, all without feeling rushed or cramped. It felt like the show was twice that long in the best way. Also, remember when I said sports anime were an acquired taste? Well, that's doubly so for Ping Pong the Animation. The reason I was put off by it for so long was that I wasn't a fan of its unconventional art style. Not unlike Mob Psycho, its art style is made of rough lines and scribbles, almost childlike in the way they're drawn. This closely matches the style of the original manga, and it's easy to dismiss it as unattractive or off-putting, but there is purpose behind every stroke, intent behind every scribble, and odd as the art style may be, the actual animation is nothing short of breathtaking. The simplicity of its art style makes it possible to frame the back-and-forth intensity of a table tennis match with much accuracy, almost like a conversation. And at times, when the situation calls for it, it leans into absurdity. Unique camera angles or arms and legs stretching beyond what should be possible, but that's the beauty of animation, isn't it? To push the limits of what we consider possible on screen, and Ping Pong excels at doing so. The use of split screens and panels during matches evoke a feeling of urgency, and it feels almost like a manga come to life. Much like the movie Challengers from last year, another title about tennis, although of a different kind, the soundtrack and score are incredible. Never has tennis been so exciting, and when the credits rolled at the end of the finale, I knew I had to talk about it. This show is unlike anything I'd ever seen before or since. Every aspect is handled to near perfection, every frame put out with immense care, and I can confidently say that this title is one of the best showcases of anime as a medium. Anyway, that's all we have for today, folks. Do you agree with my pick? Maybe there's some great things about Ping Pong the animation that I forgot to mention. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and ring the notification bells to get regular updates on new videos. I make awesome anime and manga content like this every week, so be sure to check them out. Thanks for watching, and bye for now.